ever felt like you were just a placeholder in someone's life? Like your presence was convenient until it wasn't? In a world obsessed with speed, where people move on with a swipe and forget your name faster than they once smiled at it, it's easy to start believing that you're forgettable. But what if you could become someone they never truly let go of? Not out of revenge, not to feed your ego, but because your growth, your energy, your peace became impossible to replace. This isn't about becoming louder to be noticed. It's about becoming so centered in yourself that your absence becomes more powerful than your presence ever was. It's about evolving so gracefully that even those who left you behind feel the echo of your transformation, long after they're gone. Hello and welcome to Breath of Wisdom. Today we will discuss the importance of self-respect. The truth is, people who take your love for granted often assume you'll always be there, until one day you're not. Not because you hate them, not because you want to hurt them, but because you've grown. Buddhist philosophy teaches us that everything is impermanent. Relationships, pain, joy, even our own identities. And in that impermanence lies our freedom. Letting go, when done from a place of peace, becomes the doorway to your awakening. It's not about giving up, it's about rising up. When you stop pouring your energy into someone who doesn't see you, you begin pouring that same energy into yourself. You realize that you don't have to fight for a seat at someone else's table when you're capable of building your own. You stop asking to be chosen and start choosing yourself. And something beautiful happens when you detach with grace. You stop needing closure. You stop needing answers. Your silence becomes your closure. Your growth becomes your response. And while they're busy wondering why you vanish so calmly, you're busy becoming someone they won't recognize, the calmest storm they never saw coming. Pain no longer becomes a prison. It becomes your alchemy. You learn that suffering isn't something to run from. It's something to sit with, to breathe through, to listen to. Because pain is not your enemy, it's your guide. It shows you where you were clinging too tightly, where you gave too much, where you forgot your own value in the pursuit of someone else's love. In Buddhism, self-realization doesn't happen in noise. It happens in silence, in those quiet moments where your tears meet your breath and your breath meets your soul. And you begin to shift. You start recognizing the parts of yourself you once abandoned. You begin to rebuild, not for them to notice, but for yourself to finally see. You start walking with steadier steps, speaking with softer truth, existing with deeper intention. You no longer react, you respond. You no longer beg, you observe. And the version of you that once chased is now the version that attracts. Not because you changed to be liked, but because you returned to who you were before the world told you who to be. There is something deeply magnetic about a person who no longer needs attention to feel seen. A person who doesn't seek revenge, who doesn't scream their worth, but who radiates it quietly. Stillness becomes your strength. And in that stillness, you glow. You don't post your healing, you live it. You don't announce your transformation, you embody it. And suddenly, your peace becomes a mirror. One that reflects what others lacked when they had you. One that makes them realize they didn't just lose a person, they lost a presence, a calm, a depth, a truth, the kind that can't be faked or replaced. You begin to love differently too, not with fear, not with dependency, but with freedom. You realize that real love doesn't cling. It allows, it respects, it holds space, but it never tries to own. You stop fearing loss because your self-worth no longer depends on who stays. You stop trying to convince someone to see you because you've already seen yourself. And that's when you become the one they regret letting go. Not because you made them, but because they finally understood, when it was too late, that you were never theirs to keep. You were only theirs to honor. And they didn't. So now you walk with a quiet kind of power. Not to impress anyone, not to prove anything, but because you've tasted peace, and you're not willing to trade it for anyone who doesn't know how to hold it. The people who once overlooked you will remember, not because you screamed, not because you begged, but because the light you now carry doesn't just illuminate you. It leaves shadows in the places they still haven't grown. And while they keep searching for what they lost, you keep rising into what you were always meant to be. If you found peace and inspiration here today, make sure to subscribe and tap the notification bell so you never miss a moment of growth and calm. Your support means the world and fuels this journey of self-discovery.